Good morning, students of class 7. Welcome to History class. We are reading chapter 10, The Far East in the Middle Ages, and our lesson for today is section 10.4, Yuan Sung, his visit to India and its impact on China. Now, who was Yuan Sung? Yuan Sung was the Chinese traveler who visited India in the ancient times between 627 to 643 AD. He visited India during the reign of famous King Harshavardhana, who came to admire him for his deep devotion towards Buddhism. He returned with over 600 Mahayana and Hinayana texts, 7 statues of Buddha, and more than 100 Sarira relics. Though Fahian in the 5th century was the first Chinese Buddhist pilgrim to visit India, the trip by Huansung more than 2 centuries later was equal, if not greater, in terms of historical significance. As Fahian spurred Chinese interest in Buddhism by bringing back scriptures from its birthplace in India, Yuan Sung helped influence much wider acceptance of the faith among Chinese. He also became the first Chinese visitor to go to all major regions of India. Now, Yuan Sung was born in the village of Shenpao, which is in the present Honan district of China, in about 600 AD. He took lessons in the Sanskrit language in his own country. He was a child prodigy. Now, what does that mean? It means that he was a genius. He had been raised as a Buddhist monk under under the Sui dynasty and the newly founded Tang dynasty, he and other monks faced a government suspicious of their influence. Not only did Tang China's first rulers, Cao Tzu, embrace the rival faith of Taoism, but he had placed restrictions on travel in western portions of the country, precisely the area through which Yuan would have to pass if he wanted to go to India. So, you see, from very childhood, Yuan had a strong connection or devotion for Buddhism, but he received different difficulties, or we can say he faced several restrictions before he could actually land or he could come to India, the birthplace of Buddhism. As I was saying, that he was so dedicated to this religion of Buddhism, he decided to take this difficult journey to India. Starting from Chang'an, that is the Tang capital in east central China, Yuan followed a route more southerly than that of Fayan. He made his way deep into the west, but he was preceded by messengers from the emperor bearing news of a monk trying to defy imperial orders against travel in the west. So, see, while he was traveling, while he was coming to India, at that time also he faced several restrictions. These guards who were there in that road, they informed the emperor that a monk is defying your order and he is trying to go to the route where it is forbidden to go. But he took this journey and he reached Bactria towards the north of the Hindu Kush mountain, and after a very laborious journey he crossed the Hindu Kush mountain and reached the kingdom of Gandhara. So in about 631, Yuan reached India, where he visited numerous sites important to the Buddha's life and ministry. In time, he made his way to the monastery of Nalanda, that is India's largest Buddhist center, where the esteemed master Shilavadra taught him personally for 15 months. Yuan Sung would spend a total of 5 years at Nalanda off and on. That means sometimes he had been to Nalanda and then making it a center he went to somewhere else and then he again came back to Nalanda. So that is off and on. During which time he composed three religious treatises in Sanskrit. So he stayed at Nalanda, which is considered as the largest Buddhist center in India, and get a first hand training from the esteemed master Shilavadra, who taught him personally. And this is how he enriched his knowledge about Buddhism, because he wanted to learn everything first. He was not satisfied with the Chinese translation of Buddhist scriptures. He had, while he was growing up as a monk in China, so he wanted to read those scriptures in the actual language it is written and from the real masters of it. So, for that reason, he came to India and he took up that journey of learning about Buddhism. He spent almost 14 years in India, and in that duration, he visited many places in northern and southern India. Making Nalanda base, he visited various parts of India, including Bengal in the east, the Deccan Plateau of central India, and both the Coromandel and Malabar coasts. In addition, he journeyed through the Indus River valley by which he had entered the country, and in time he became eager to follow that route back to China. Now, while staying at India, Yuan Sung made friendship with King Harshavardhana of Kannauj, and this king Harshavardhana invited him at his court. Yuan Sung mentioned about King Harshavardhana in his travel accounts, and after spending almost 14 years, he set off for China at around 645 AD. While returning to China, he carried with him several Buddhist figures made of gold, silver, and sandalwood, and a large number of manuscripts of the Buddhist scriptures. When he reached China, he was cordially received by the then Chinese emperor and the Chinese people. Now, Yuan Sung's visit to India had a major impact on the relationship between China and India, because it became more intimate after his visit. It was at his instance that Harshavardhana and the Chinese emperor exchanged ambassadors, that is, their representatives. So, what does that mean? The Harshavardhana, the king of Kannauj in India, he used to send his representative to China, whereas China too used to send their representative to India, and it happened after Yuan Sung's visit. Yuan Sung's visit to India wielded an enormous influence on the religion and culture of China. How, although there were two major religions present in China during that time, that is Taoism and Confucianism, study of Buddhist scriptures and texts received an impetus as a consequence of the new manuscripts Yuan Sung carried to China from India. So Chinese people took interest in these manuscripts and they wanted to learn or read that thing or get the essence of Buddhism after Yuan Sung carried these manuscripts to China from India. Indian artists were invited by the Chinese to decorate the walls with frescoes and to sculpt Buddhist images. So, this is another influence. Indian artists were called so that they could go to China and they could make this enormous, beautiful fresco paintings of Gautam Buddha or any Buddhist images over there. Besides, music, astronomy, and medical treatises of China were all enriched by contact with India. So, we can say that in several fields, China became enriched after this visit of Yuan Sung, because they were now influenced, or we can say they were very much, they adapted so many things from Indian culture and its art. So that was all for today. What you will do is read this section 10.4 from your book and see whether you have any difficulty understanding it or not. If you have any difficulty, send your query at the given mail ID in the class hours. Thank you.